Hey everyone, I'm Brooke and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you 7 underrated tips and tricks for your Mac. And these are honestly things that I use almost every single day and that I fully take for granted because I just forget that maybe not everyone knows about them. So today I'm going to share them with you and they're very, I would say, easy and simple, but once you know them, they're just gonna take your Mac game to the next level. So I'm gonna share 7. There might be a few bonus ones in there, so stick around to the end so you don't miss them. Now for today's video, I am going to be showing most of these tips within Notion, but they are not exclusive to Notion. It's just what I happened to be writing in when I thought of this video idea. So whether you are using Apple Notes, which you know I love, whether you're on Safari, iMessage, even email, anything, like these tips will still work across your Mac. All right, so let's start with 2 quick keyboard shortcuts that you may or may not already know. The first one is very important for anyone that writes in different languages. For example, sometimes I'm writing in French and I'm also trying to learn Spanish and become trilingual. So both of those languages have a lot of accents. And when I look down at my English keyboard, I don't see any accents. So how you would add an accent to a letter or to a word is essentially when you are typing that word. So let's say I'm gonna type the word tomorrow in Spanish, so mañana. When I get to the N, if I hold down the N key, you're gonna see a menu pop up with common accents for this letter, and then I can either just click on the appropriate accent or I can use the numbers below to select the appropriate accent. So for this word, we're going to do number 1 and then continue spelling the word. Honestly, if you're at least 1 video into this channel, you probably know and have noticed how much I love and use emojis. So there's a few ways to access emojis on your Mac. You can always go up to the menu bar, hit edit, and you'll see the last option is emoji and symbols. But there are a few different keyboard shortcuts that make accessing these emojis even quicker and easier. So the one that anyone can do that's basically set up by default is if you use the Control, Command, and Spacebar keys. So if I were to hit Control, Command, Spacebar, it's gonna open up the emoji menu. However, if you are someone that uses emojis frequently, what you can set up that's even easier, and what I have set up, is if you go into your settings, into your system preferences, and scroll down to keyboard, you'll see the option. It says press the little globe button, which is also your function key. You can set a specific command for this globe or function key. So you'll see mine here is already set to show emoji and symbols. That way, whenever I do want an emoji, I can just press 1 key to open up the emoji menu. And here's a bonus symbol shortcut. If you do Option Shift K, it will bring up the Apple logo. So that's just a fun one that not a lot of people know about. It's a little secret. So I've sprinkled it in a few videos before, you may or may not have noticed. Now, when I switched from a PC to a Mac many years ago now, the one thing I always missed was being able to delete in 2 directions. So on your Mac, you have the delete key, and that always deletes from right to left. If you were to hold the function key and the delete key, it'll reverse delete. So instead of doing the normal delete, it'll basically pull from the right, so it'll delete from left to right. And bonus here also, it's a little bit more advanced, but if you want to delete more than 1 space at once, if you do Command delete, it's going to remove everything from where your cursor is to the left. So that's Command delete. And then if you do Option delete, it's just gonna remove 1 word to the left. Now, if ever you have taken a photo from your iPhone, shared it with your Mac, often with AirDrop because it's magic and easy, but then gone to take that photo and upload it to like a website or something that required you to upload an image, and the file is not accepted. That is because your iPhone's picture is being saved in the heic file format, which is one of the least compatible file formats out there. And it is so frustrating and so annoying when this happens. So if you feel my pain, let me know in the comments so we can commiserate here. But essentially, the heic file format Apple introduced, I think it was back in like 2011, and it basically allows you to save more detail in a photo at a smaller file size, which in theory is wonderful. However, in practice, when you go to work with these files, they can be very, very annoying. And I will just say, there is a way in settings on your phone to turn off the heic file format altogether. However, I don't actually want to do that because 80% of the time I want the higher quality image. So I'm just going to show you a trick how to basically quickly convert the image on your Mac before uploading when the program does not accept heic. I'm gonna take a photo, smile, you're on camera, and I'm going to just airdrop this the way you normally would. So I'm going to airdrop this picture I just took to my computer, and you're going to see it's in my downloads and the file format is heic. The longer way essentially is you would open the file, you would go to file from your menu bar in the top left hand corner, you can export, and then here you basically have free reign. You can change it to any basically format here that you want. So that's good and fine. However, there's an even easier way if you just want a JPEG, which is accepted like 99% of the time. That is a compatible file format. And now for this one, we do want to make sure we have handoff enabled both on our phone and on our Macs. So on your phone, in settings, you can just search for handoff and it's on. So that's awesome. On my Mac, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to search handoff and we've toggled it on, so that's perfect. So now what this means is this is going to use our universal clipboard. So when I go to the same exact photo, instead of airdropping it to my Mac, I'm going to press the three dots in the top right hand corner and copy the photo. And now you maybe saw that little diagram automatically appear on my computer. That's our universal clipboard. Because we've turned handoff on, it means pretty much whatever I'm doing on my phone can be handed off to my computer. So I've copied the heic photo on my phone, and now super easy, I'm just gonna right click on my desktop, click paste item, and you're gonna see that same photo has now pasted on my desktop as a JPEG photo. Right? Like that's awesome. Now sticking with the theme of photos for this next one. I learned this a couple months ago and it absolutely blew my mind because I had no idea my Mac was capable of doing this natively. I always thought or whenever I had to do this, I always went to third-party apps and stuff like that. So, in case you didn't know, your Mac using Preview can remove the background from photos. If you watched my iPhone 15 accessories video last week, this photo probably looks familiar, but it's perfect for this example because my walls are white, my shirt's an off-white, so the background isn't as noticeable, like it kind of blends in. So you'll see how almost perfect the system is and then how to fix it. So you open the image in Preview and then you go to Tools from the menu bar. Towards the bottom, you'll see Remove Background. There is a keyboard shortcut for this, so you could do Shift-Command-K, but for this example, we're just gonna select Remove Background. It is just gonna give me the heads up that it needs to convert this to a PNG, that's fine. So you're gonna see it's removed most of the background from this photo. But if you look like around my sunglasses, it did not remove it. And then at the bottom, it also did not remove part of the floor. So we can fix this pretty easily. First of all, if you're dealing with a small space like this, I recommend just zooming in. And this is awkward because then my face is huge. But anyways, for the purpose of this video, we're zooming in, we're gonna hit the markup tool, which is that little marker in the top right, and we're gonna click this little like magic wand looking thing. You wanna basically drag within the part we wanna remove until just that section is kind of like highlighted like it is right now, and hit the delete button. And so it wasn't perfect, so we're gonna try and do it again and hit delete, and then one more time on the right there and hit delete. Honestly, that's pretty good. Remember, we're super zoomed in right now, so looking at it from afar, you probably wouldn't really be able to notice. And then same thing for the right side. Okay, it selected almost all of it that time. We're gonna delete that. Let's scroll down to the floor, hold and drag basically, and get until you get the part that you want. Anyways, that's good enough for this example. So now you can see like it's removed. It's done a pretty good job of removing the background of this image. So if you have a picture of yourself you really like and you want to like neutralize the background for like a LinkedIn profile picture or something, like you can easily do it this way. All right, and now wrapping up with a few more keyboard shortcuts here. So we have a bunch of preview windows open right now because we're working on multiple windows, and this will happen often, like if I have multiple Safari windows open or multiple Finder windows open. And let's say, I mean, of course, you know, you can go and close them individually, but let's say it's the end of the day and you just want to close them all at once. So you can close multiple windows from the same application all at once by holding the Option key and pressing the red X. So it closes both of those windows because they were from the same application all at once. And then let's say for some troubleshooting, you go to press the red X and it's not responding for some reason. Maybe you have the spinny wheel of death and you just cannot close the app for the life of you. Like even if you go down to try and right click and quit, nothing's working, nothing's happening, and you want to really force close this application, you would do Option, Command, and Escape. So if I do Option, Command, Escape, it's going to bring up this little window where you can force quit any of your current open applications. So in this example, I'm going to select Preview, hit Force Quit. It'll remind you that if nothing's saved, you're going to lose it, but you can't close the app. You can't even interact with the app. So at this point, we just want it closed. We hit Force Close and it's gone. All right, so this was hopefully a pretty quick video. It was meant to be quick with the 7 tips, but then I ended up throwing in so many bonus tips that I have no idea what we're at. So if you found this video useful, please let me know in the comments and give the video a thumbs up. Let me know which tip is kind of going to be the biggest game changer for your workflow. If you do want to see more of my Mac specific videos, I'll link them in the description box down below, but I have made a video on a bunch of different keyboard shortcuts that I use all the time. And as well, I made a Mac setup video of some of the first things I do when I set up a new Mac, so I'll link that one as well. And I did see all the comments on that video asking for a part 2, so I promise you a part 2 of my Mac setup video is in the works. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if not already so you don't miss any future videos, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.